What is up, friends and RC family? My name is Alec from High Noon Hobbies, and this time on the channel, we're taking a look at what the High Noon student driver rig looks like when we actually tune it the way that we should. If you're new to the channel, I very much appreciate you checking it out. I hope you will stick around, watch at least this video, see if this content seems worth your while, and consider subscribing so I can say to you, thank you very much for helping us achieve 3,000 subscribers. And if you want to join, we're going to do the same thing that we did for the 2K subscriber giveaway. We're going to do another one for the 3K subscriber giveaway, and you have a chance to win one of these High Noon Hobby RC Sling packs. This is a design that Mike from Sons of Crawl and I have been working on for a little while here, and we want to kind of involve you guys, the community, in some of the first kind of prototype models to this RC Sling pack. So if you want to check that out, get a chance to win, go follow the link in the description down below or on the screen, and yeah, we will be announcing the winner on June 11th, I believe. So keep your eyes and ears open for that live stream. That'll be a Sunday live stream where we will be announcing the winner, but it's going to be just giving us your name and your email. You can sign up for the newsletter if you'd like to. Otherwise, you do not need to enter the giveaway, and we will do a random drawing to see who wins the RC Sling pack, as well as a toolkit that will go along, a toolkit and an accessory kit to go along with the Sling pack. But anyways, we are out here at the beautiful Cedar City Three Peaks Recreation Area for the final Southern qualifying round of the North versus South Utah RC Crawling Championship 2023. Very, very cool time. We also got to check out some of the full-size buggies as well. These guys were competing over at the Three Peaks Recreation Area as well for the We Rock competition. And our buddies over at Fabin 801, Thomas over at Fabin 801, shout out to Thomas. He actually did fantastic and ended up placing first in his class in the Sportsman's A class for We Rock. So we'll definitely be seeing him out at the finals for that, which will be super cool. But today, with no further ado, we're going to get straight into the runs. We're going to take a look here first at ScumbagRC, or Luke, rocking this course number 1 for class 2 in his G-Speed V4 build. This fantastic samurai body painted by Donut Boy RC here in Utah. And this is a very, very popular truck around these parts. Lots of people know exactly who's driving when they see this truck come around, but it's a pretty nifty one. Unfortunately, not super conducive to that gate right there. That's one where you kind of have to squeeze into that pocket, and I think that maybe if Luke took just an extra second there and tried to shimmy a bit more, he could have potentially cleared that lower gate. But you can see there that lower gate was really the issue for most people with any wheelbase 12.3 or above. Luke taking the kind of interesting approach here to get to gate number, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's having to take a little loop around here. You can see I had to make some quick maneuvers to not be in his way. The judge doing the same thing there. Thank you, Riley, for judging both of us. I'll leave a link to Riley's social media down in the description. He also does RC stuff as well, and he's pretty dang good at it. I would say he's better at it than me. So yeah, taking a pause here because we actually have B&B RC on the course over here. You can see Bennett crushing it, and yeah, that actually happened to most competitors coming off of that bonus line. That was not an easy bonus line to deal with there. It was kind of seemed like luck of the draw for coming off of it, although you'll see in Luke's attempt on that bonus line, maybe it isn't luck. Maybe there is actually a method to the madness that I just don't quite understand. I'm going to cut back to Luke's run here, coming back in at 1:35 seconds. He has absolutely crushed the beginning of this course with plenty of time to spare. Remember, we are doing 6-minute courses this time instead of 8-minute courses like we did in the previous year's series. That was kind of both for efficiency's sake, so we could get drivers through faster on these courses, as well as to increase the competitive nature of the competition. And it really did. I think it's brought out some of the best drivers and really showed who can keep composed under a very tight timeline. None of these courses are unachievable through a 6-minute timeline. They can all be ran through a 6-minute timeline, but it does definitely put the pressure on the driver and show who can keep calm and remember the right line through these gates. So, headed into gate number 7 here already. Is it 7? Yeah, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so maybe that last one was actually 4, 5. It would have been 5, 6, and 7 right there on that rock. 7 was a pretty gnarly side hill there. Definitely one that you want to just keep momentum through. The G-Speed V4 really doesn't have too much of a problem with side hills whatsoever. You can see the 4S battery that Luke is running, giving him the wheel speed that he needs in that overdriven front axle to actually pull his front end through and end up on all 4 tires. Very, very impressive. I think Luke was the only person that I saw today that managed to get off of that in such a clean fashion. I did see people end up back on their wheels, but most of the people that ended up back on their wheels did end up using this rock that Luke is standing on now to kind of shove their roof into it and then upright themselves that way without having to actually take an upright, which worked out for most people, but is still a dangerous maneuver. Now that right there seemed like pure luck. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe Luke's truck is incredibly well weighted and it just always lands on its wheels, but that seemed like there was a bit of luck involved in that gate number 9 there. But nonetheless, Luke is running so far with a very, very solid score. He's made up for that gate number 3 that he tapped by getting that first bonus, which we just saw a moment ago. Now he's headed into the second bonus here, try to get himself into the negatives. You can see this second bonus is a nasty one. You really have to straddle that ledge close to the bush. He's getting very close to this arrow cone here, and the breakover angle isn't doing him any favors, so he does the smart thing here and decides to pull winch. This is definitely what I would have done, and I think that it was the right call for the situation. Better to get a -5 through this bonus rather than getting a +10 for hitting the bonus gate. You definitely don't want to do that. Plenty of time left here. We've got a minute and 20 to spare getting through the last bonus, and he only has one more gate here to deal with, so Luke is in a good spot. He's going to flip back around and hit gate number 10, which also has given many people a bit of trouble. You can see he's just dicking off here just a little bit, wasting a little bit of time. He's got some hecklers behind him, so he needs to make sure that he frustrates them as much as possible by getting as close to the 6-minute mark as possible and then making this gate number 10 look easy. Now that gate right there only looks easy because he's got a very, very solid setup. Well done, Luke. A -4 at a 5:11.43 on this course is an impressive time and an impressive score. Let's see how the student driver rig can keep up with it. So this student driver rig, as I mentioned, has been tuned quite a bit since you saw it last on the channel. I think the last time we saw it on the channel was actually during a live stream with Sons of Crawl and myself, a Sunday live stream, where we reviewed one of my runs and showed that there were definitely some issues both with my driving and with the truck. So let's see if we can at least get the truck cleaned up. Now, what have I done to tune it? Well, I didn't actually do anything. I had Cameron, Ninja RC. You've seen Cameron on the channel many times before. He's one of the most capable builders and drivers in the northern Utah area. He took home, I believe he took home first last year in the North vs. South, not first overall, but first for the Northern Series. Unfortunately, coming through here, I just managed to tap that front gate, and that was a stupid mistake. I definitely could have avoided that, and if I did, I would have cleared that lower gate. You saw I came in a lot farther to the driver's side there, and so I could have cleared it had I taken my time through there just a little bit more and focused in on that. I think that was a driver error there. But what did Cameron do to tune this rig? Well, He changed out the tires, or not the tires, he changed out the wheel. He did change out the tires too, but they are the same tires that I was running previously. These are the Crawler G8 compound, but he did change out the wheels, and part of changing out the wheels was changing out the weight. We added just a little bit more weight. We're using brass rings on the inside of both the front and the rear, and that added just I believe it added just under half a pound, although I'm not 100% certain. I will put the actual numbers down in the description if you're actually that curious, but just added just a tiny bit of weight to keep things a little bit more planted. We added a bent link kit to the upper links so that the upper and lower links didn't interfere with one another. When I installed the flat skid on this truck, I tried to bend the stock axial links myself, and unfortunately I didn't bend them in the correct way. I don't know that there necessarily is a correct way to bend the stock links to make it work, but they were still interfering with each other. So bent links on the upper links to avoid interference. The shocks have been spaced out from the Rock Pirates shock towers because they were actually also interfering with one another. The shocks were hitting the shock towers before they were bottoming out, causing issues there. You can see I am still running magnets on this body, which is a huge error. I definitely would not recommend running magnets on a comp truck, although it does seem like space age technology and it's going to save you a ton of time when you have to change out your battery. It is not worth the trade-off. You definitely want your body to stay on and stay very planted when you are running a competition course. As you can see there, the body actually did almost fall off, but I managed to save it with a rollover there. So I was able to kind of just grab the lip of my truck, and as I rolled it over, I was able to kind of get the body to settle back onto the magnet mounts on the chassis. So what else has been done? Extra winch line with a dynamic winch section added to the winch system here. Besides that has stayed the same. Servo is still the same. NSD 800 V2. Not a terrible servo in my opinion. Seems to do quite well. Still running stock axle housings, the 44s. Different hubs front and rear. Slightly wider brass hubs in the front to give us just a little bit more width in the front, and slightly narrower hubs in the rear to get just a little less width in the rear so we can sneak some gates that way. Like I mentioned before, flat skid, but that was already on previously, so you guys have seen that. Different steering link, different panhard link, both of those just to try to get as much clearance out of the suspension as possible, and switched over from a Spectrum receiver to a Fly Sky so I could use the GT5. That's a bit of personal preference there. I don't know that necessarily matters too much, although I was able to easily add exponential to the throttle, which I think is helping because I did not have that added in on the Spectrum controller. Still running the Fusion SE, a great motor in my opinion, working very well. I do need to work on the slipper clutch. This section here, actually, the slipper clutch did kind of screw with me just a little bit, where I think if it was a bit tighter, I might have just been able to force my way up here, but unfortunately I am having some issues. When I get that bumper up against this rock, I'm not able to kind of force my way through it, where I think I probably should have been able to. You can see I'm trying to approach this at a slightly different angle, and still not quite working for me, and that is a factor of that slipper clutch just being a little bit too loose. Desert Lizards are the same build internally as they were prior, although the Desert Lizards have been flipped upside down, both to prevent leakage as well as to allow for a little bit more weight on the bottom. You can see I'm getting close to time here, and I'm having trouble still getting up on here, so I'm going to have Luke pull just my dynamic winch. I'm not even having to worry about winching in. I'm just using that slight amount of pressure to get through there. But a +3 at a 543, I'm happy with that on this course, and I think that this truck is much improved from where it is before. All right, guys, this is all I have for you this time. I hope that you enjoyed this video, maybe learned a thing or two, or at least got a little chuckle maybe here or there. I do want to remind you guys to sign up for that giveaway. The 3K subscriber giveaway is now live, and there will be a link to that down in the description below, as well as somewhere in this region if you don't want to take the time to go down to the description. But I appreciate you all making it to the end of the video. If you did enjoy this, go ahead and give it a like. Remember to subscribe to High Noon Hobby for more content like this every single week, and we will see you on the next one. But until then, hope you enjoy some hard lines, maybe some scale trailing, maybe some ski riding, maybe some Suranin, maybe some FPV droning. I don't know. Just enjoy yourself, all right? All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace.